Hello everybody. The Warriors took care of business against a Lakers team that was resting most of its stars, but I think in some weird way that made them more competitive. We're going to look at Jordan Poole's career high 11 assists. He starts the game off right, running this fast break beautifully. It doesn't seem like there should be a fast break right this second. Here, this is a 3-on-3, but the Lakers screw up their transition defense. I think Horton Tucker has to cover Andrew Wiggins, and then he's got to pick up this front man. This guy's got to go across, or somehow these two have to handle these two. And what ends up happening is these two guys end up trying to contain these lanes, which means Andrew Wiggins is completely free to the basket. So that can't be the right transition defense. And Jordan Poole reads this really well, sees Wiggins cutting, beautiful pass down the middle, zip, dip. This play begins with Andre Iguodala dribbling into the lane. He seems pretty well contained right here. Andre throws a little bailout pass to Gary Payton II, sees that these two Lakers defenders are out of position, and then here's where the breakdown happens. Stanley Johnson thinks he's got to go out. This guy thinks he's got to close out, and then once you've got two on the ball, then there's going to be all kinds of trouble. And once Johnson leaves Poole, it's a pretty easy read to swing this to Poole, and I don't think this lineup is played together very much, so you can't fault them for being completely disorganized on this defensive play. Dwight Howard is wandering into the post instead of staying with Jordan Poole, and I didn't notice if Austin Reeves was trying to call some kind of scram switch. This doesn't seem like the time for it, but he's going to have to bust his butt to contest Poole at this point. We had two guys on the ball here, matched up. So the originator of all this chaos, Andre Iguodala, is completely open in the corner. Can't say that you have a lot of confidence in Andre stroking this, but he is insanely open. There's like a rectangular force field keeping everyone away from him, and he does drain it. This play starts as a good old-fashioned post split cut. This guy, Gabriel, is pretty bouncy, but he's also pretty new, a two-way, and so he doesn't really notice when Draymond feeds the post and he's gone off, set the cross screen. So he's going to be looking at the ball and not looking at Draymond. Jordan Poole is going to take this screen. Okay, finally he's noticing, oh, something's up. Draymond's still screening off Monk, and Poole is looking very open, and Gabriel rightfully thinks, oh no, I gotta jump out on this guy, so he does, but that means Draymond Green will have a lane to the basket. That's a pretty good contest, shifts out there very long, and so I don't think Poole can get the shot over, but Draymond cutting right to the passing lane where Jordan Poole can hit him, and then now you have three Lakers at the edge of the lane. They all stunt in and then try to recover to their man. That leaves Draymond alone with the basket. Poole's drive here looks contained by the big. Behind him, Draymond Green is changing the angle on his screen, so Poole very slickly does a pivot. Poole is really spinny, isn't he? Uses this foot as a pivot. Suddenly he's spun around completely. This defender's flying out of the way. Draymond's going to screen this guy to stop him from recovering, and so Poole in theory can step out here and have an open three, right? Defense tries to prevent that by stepping up on Poole. This guy's fighting over the top of the screen. That means Draymond is going to be free to drive to the basket, so nice little pocket pass here from Poole. Draymond knows he's only got a small window of attacking because this guy is accelerating to recover to Draymond, but these two defenders are not going to want to leave three-point shooters, and so the only question is what happens to this defender who's on the back of this man in the post. And so Draymond's just going to try to maneuver around the traffic. Austin Reeves with a little swipe down, ineffectual, and Draymond is going to have another date alone with the basket. Let's see if you can recognize this play. Okay, by now, if you are an old-time viewer, you should recognize this play. The ball got fed into the wing, and then Jordan Poole does a shallow cut to the other side. So that's the start of the motion weak set from the Spurs offense. And the bottom side here, one man sets a pin down for the other, and the other is going to come up and set a pick and roll. So it's a way of starting a pick and roll on the wing there. Coming up to set a screen for Jordan Poole. Poole looks like he wants to go this way to take it, and he's going to really convincingly fake it by showing the ball with two hands in this direction. Just a little shoulder fake, and then Poole is gone. The defender jumping out to try to stop him from taking the screen. That means this big has to step up to stop Jordan Poole from getting an open three. Everything's breaking down. Two guys going to Poole. Kevon Looney now cuts to make himself available for this little pocket pass. Although actually, just because of the angle of things, Poole ends up swinging it over the top. And now the defense is breaking down. Rotation. Kevon Looney goes up strong. You don't have a lot of confidence he's going to make this layup, but he does. This is a quick hitting stagger pin down for Klay. Klay was here, and then he suddenly jumps out. There's the one screen. Here's the second screen. Klay comes around. Jordan throws him the ball. Can you really get an assist on a play like this? Klay's just going to dribble right into this soft spot in the defense. Reeves a little too slow to react. Klay says, I'm playing within the offense right now. This is an open shot. I'm allowed to take and make this. There's a whole cat and mouse game on this play. Pick and roll. Kevon Looney definitely nailing Austin Reeves on this. Jordan Poole turns the corner, which means the big has to stop Jordan Poole. Because Jordan Poole is a pull-up threat, that means the small has to follow him over the screen. Now there's two on the ball. Kevon Looney tries to cut right down the middle. That means this defender has to help off of Draymond Green. Jordan Poole tries to keep himself interesting, and he does. He maintains the interest of both these men. But Kevon Looney is being defended by this help defense. Draymond Green was the one who was left by this defender, and he's not a shooter, so he's not going to space out to the corner. Instead, he's going to just curl around Kevon Looney, who's setting a screen just by virtue of being there. Nice little find by Poole. Draymond tries to find the seam. Kevon Looney is serving as a virtual screen. It looks like Draymond's about to get blocked to the Stone Age here, but he kind of makes it work with a kind of flailing hook shot. Poole scoots the ball out, so now it's just improvisation happening. Draymond standing there, so Klay feels free to use him as a screen. Jordan Poole's cutting through to try to bring defenders and then also get defenders to get in the way of their teammates. And Klay takes advantage of the disorganization to drive. He got his defender on his hip, so this guy is not going to be able to contest, which means everyone here is stepping up to stop Klay. There's kind of a whole wall in front of Klay, and he feels completely fine just going up for this shot. This might be the weakest assist in the whole reel. Inbounds, Jordan just hands it right back to Andrew Wiggins. Wiggins is taking the stagger screen, but usually in this play, I think Poole will come and take the screen again. So Wiggins should be looking back to see if Poole is open, but Wiggins' defender is so far away from him, and Draymond's defender is dropped way the heck back. So Wiggins feels empowered to just come over here and enjoy the emptiness. This is a simple pick and roll that works way better than you'd think. Andre Iguodala screening, and he's getting old, so he doesn't usually get hard contact on his screens, but I guess he's just leaving it all out on the floor. Might be his final year. Poole takes the screen. Austin Reeves gets nailed by the screen. Forces the big to step out to challenge the shot. Andre rolls. Poole throws a pretty cool looking bounce pass. And Andre, I guess he's really leaving it all on the floor. Anyway, I guess Andre wants to see if the old Duncan knees are still working, and he can still dunk. So good work from Poole, running the offense, using his threat of the three-point shot to have some gravity and get rollers open. Late in the game, in borderline garbage time, Klay got himself a free run to the basket. Klay is not a big dunker. Back in the day, he and Zaza Pachulia even had a competition to see who would dunk more in the season, and Zaza won. So it's actually a little bit of a special occasion when Klay dunks, and bonk, very special. And let's see how the bench is feeling about this turn of events. Celebration audit. We've got Steph jumping up. He's got, I think he's doing raise the roof. We're gonna have to see what he's actually doing. Jonathan Kuminga looking a little bit jaded, like, yeah, all right, Klay, you're having a great game, but what is a dunk if you're not accidentally breaking your nose on the rim? Sorry, Kuminga, that's what dunks look like for mere mortal NBA players. All right, so let's check in on Steph's hands. Yes, I believe Steph was asking the arena staff to raise the roof because the arena cannot contain the excitement that Klay just generated. Kevon Looney is seconding. This is good teamwork. He's also requesting that the proper authorities raise the roof. And then Steph is going to throw in some extra mime. I don't fully understand it. He's pointing up in the air and kind of looking up. I'm not sure if he's saying, hey, there's going to be a highlight on the Jumbotron, or look out below, there's dunks flying down from the sky. You'll have to help me out with that one. And my guy, Nemanja Bjelica, I don't know if you think I've been too harsh with Nemanja. I've criticized his we're number one celebrations after a big three. And now, when you dunk on somebody, there's a lot of celebrations that are okay. And one of them is, it's definitely Warrior standard for people to pat themselves on the head. Like you just put your palm on your head, indicating, whoa, you threw that ball down on that person's skull. I wonder if their cranium is all right with the synthetic rubber being thrown at their head at such high velocity. But Nemanja is doing this thing where instead of patting your own head and saying, wow, you dunked severely on the top of that person's body, he's gonna reach out and like, what is this? He's like dunking on Kuminga's head. I don't know. I think he needs to go to remedial basics of bench celebrations. Kuminga has this kind of world where he look like he's kind of used to Nemanja doing weird things to his head.